Out here on the ranch again, Audubon's Kiowa Creek Ranch with Dave McNitt from Bird Conservancy of the Rockies and NRCS. And one of the things I wanted to touch on, we're doing some forest restoration work out here, and oftentimes with the key word there is restoration, right? We've all seen on the news with you know, clear cuts and burning of the rainforest. Like what's the difference between what we're from restoring a forest to that?
Yeah, so it's important to understand the nuance in that coming in and doing timber harvest and removing trees can come in many different shapes and colors. So probably what a lot of our negative stigma might come from are not really treatments, more like deforestation, where trees are being cut and what was once forest is being changed into development or grazing lands or something like that. What we're talking about out here is keeping the forest, just making it healthier. So this is still going to be a forest, but we're going to thin out the trees in a very carefully planned way to make it as healthy as possible. Healthy is kind of a vague term, but basically bringing back its historical conditions, and so it can remain forest for a long time, a healthy forest.
Yeah, so like for us, we run cows and pigs, and primarily what we're looking at behind us is ponderosa pine, and historically, and help me if I get this wrong, Dave, but ponderosa pine is historically a much more open forest. And so like it has a really healthy understory, which is good grazing for cows and pigs and all of that stuff. And so it's different, like we're just trying to get it kind of back in balance. Whereas if we got in the pickup right now and we drove up into the mountains, like those forests are different, right?
Yeah, so I say it's carefully planned because we have an understanding of all these different forest types and their history and their natural history of how they were shaped by disturbance and fire. These ponderosa pine woodlands had frequent fire that maintained open forests, so we'll recreate that with our treatments. But in some of the higher elevation, more moist forests, they would burn less frequently and therefore more intensely. So it would be more like patches of forest, stands of forest that would be completely burned by fire. So when we're in those forest types, we'll do more of something called like patch cuts, where we'll come in and kind of take out chunks of the forest to create openings there and a diversity of age structures, more in clumps than this more kind of openly, evenly distributed kind of forest in here.
Good stuff. Thanks, Dave. We'll be back with some more great stuff.